Okay, greetings. I'm really excited because I'm hosting this roundtable with my beautiful sisters here. Now, there's most of us are part of the Rising Phoenix Aurora family, apart from Nicola over there. But Nicola does a huge amount of collective work with myself and Jeffrey, linked in with Gaia. And but the rest of us are all part of the Rising Phoenix Aurora family. So we are we've come together because we do a lot of collective work individually and also together within sessions. So my name is Claire. As you know, I'm known as a Circle of Light healer, and I am an aura practitioner, a raw Reiki, and quantum galactic Akashic reader as well. So you can find me obviously within the details below. And I would like to introduce you to my beautiful sisters who would like to introduce themselves first. Minnie, do you want to go?
Okay, here we go. Greetings, everyone. Welcome. Thank you. We're so excited to be here today on this beautiful new moon. My name is Angelic Meenakshi. I live in Vancouver, Canada. And just like Claire, I am also an aura practitioner, as well as a raw Reiki healer, as well as a quantum galactic Akashic reader and a channel to the divine. And I work with my clients as well as individually to work on the collective energies, whatever Mother Gaia needs us to do, with the help of the divine, the archangels, and the beautiful ascended masters that are here to aid us with our work. So thank you everyone for being here. You'll find my details in the description, but pretty much I go by Angelic Alchemy Holistic Healing.com, my website, and the same on YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, Facebook. Thank you for being here. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Thank you.
I can go next if it's okay with everyone. Yeah, so hey everyone, my name is Samia. I am from the Conscious Healing Path, and just like Claire said earlier, I'm also an aura practitioner. I'm also a raw Reiki healer and a quantum galactic Akashic reader. I've been certified by Rising Phoenix Aurora, who is the founder of these beautiful modalities that can assist you most profoundly and infinitely in your own sovereign path of self-healing yourself and removing yourself from any inverted dark cycle that you may be witnessing within your reality or your time and space. So you can find me on my website, theconscioushealingpath.com, and also on Instagram and TikTok, and also on aurapractitioner.com. But all of the details will be linked in the description below as well. So you can go ahead and click the links if you feel called to. And I thank you all for tuning in. I love you, honor you, respect you, and thank you.
Shall I go next? So we haven't got lots of pauses.
Yes, you go next, Cora.
We need you to introduce us. My name's Cora Edwards. I'm go under the name of Cora Jane Healing, and I live in West Devon. So I live between Bodmin Moor and Dartmoor. So I'm right on the Cornish border. So I'm sort of been doing a lot of energy work down in the West Country, down through Cornwall, and I'm really close to Tintagel Castle. So that's been like a key place that I've been doing work on. And prior to that, I lived in Somerset. So I was really, really close to Glastonbury Tor and Glastonbury and all of the energy lines there. So I've sort of spent my life really living along the Michael Mary line everywhere. I've tracked it back to when I was a child. I was actually born on this line as it went through. So I've always been connected to this energy line. So I feel like I've always been doing this grid work specifically along this Michael Mary line. And I'm also raw Reiki and aura certified. So I do sessions also. So yeah, on to the next. Would like to go next.
Paulina, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Paulina, and together with my husband, we are Unity Healing. I am also aura practitioner, Ra practitioner, Akashic reading. Basically, I've done, I think, all the courses possible with Rising Phoenix Aurora as well. And you can find me on unity-healing.co.uk. I am based in London. And you can also find me on YouTube and Instagram and the Unity_. And yes, I'm happy to be here today with my sisters and sharing, what we know, what we've been experiencing lately, and in general from last year. I think we have been experiencing a lot of shifts. So excited to share that with you today.
Beautiful. Luna Muna, would you like to go next?
Hi, everyone. My name's Muna. You'll be able to find me under Rising Phoenix Aurora as Luna Muna, as one of the practitioners. My website, which it's under construction, but you'll be able to find me under Sovereign Sun Healing Waters. I am a aura practitioner, a Ra practitioner, and also certified in quantum galactic Akashic readings. My work has been primarily with healing the waters, the sacred lands. While I'm based out of Toronto, Ontario, I'm finding myself connected to the ley lines over here, working a lot with the dragon lines over here, and a lot of the releasing a lot of the trauma and suffering as it pertains to the Aboriginals. But I'm really happy to be here with my sisters, and I would consider this like the forum for the Seven Sisters of the Rising Sun, if I may call it that. Very happy to be here with you. Greetings all. Thank you.
Beautiful. And Nicola.
Greetings all. Thank you for joining us on this new moon. My name's Nicola, and I'm not a practitioner, but I thought that I'd introduce myself and share a bit of my experience on my ascension journey, really. So I live in Staffordshire in the UK. So I was born on the spine of Albion. So I've been doing a lot of energy work. My hometown meets on a specific point where two important dragon lines cross over on the spine of Albion. So I believe it's my role, my purpose to hold the light on this line, which I hope that I'm doing. And my ascension started off in 2012, really. Started with a working holiday to South Africa, where I went up to the top of Table Mountain. And then I found myself on a boat accident in the South African Sea, which triggered my awakening. And then I was constantly searching, but I wasn't consciously awake at that time. But that led me to my awakening in 2020. Where it was like somebody turned on a light switch, and then my eyes were open, I could see, and I was awake, and that's when I met Claire, and we found out we awoke at the same time, we share similar experiences at the same time, get similar information at the same time. So we wait until we get some information, really, and then we go around the UK aiding Gaia, doing energy work wherever we're told to go, really. So I suppose the main message from me is just trust in yourself. I used to think I was going a bit crazy with the information I was getting, but the more you trust, the more information that comes through, and you can't make some of it up at all. So I would say the main thing is just trust in yourself, trust in your inner self and your inner guidance.
Oh yes, beautiful, Nicola. Yes, and we've had some really aha moments, haven't we? Some really crazy times when we can't make this up, as we were learning, as we were going along on our journey. And I didn't mention, but I live in the Sherwood Forest, which is actually on the equinox line within the UK, and there is two dragon lines there, the Peter and the Margaret line, that runs right through it goes right through this equinox line. And yeah, so I'm very near the major oak and do quite a lot of work within that, the beautiful oak tree there. So this beautiful round table that we have, we wanted to talk about the different collective energies and really sort of hopefully give you some tips and guidance of how to navigate those collective energies that you may be feeling, because subconsciously, like, so to share a little bit about my journey, how I've gone from subconscious to conscious. So when I was a child, I used to speak to imaginary friends, and my mum, she started believing in past lives, because I would go to different places that I had never been to before, and I would know what was in front of me. I would say, oh, there's a windmill ahead, or there's wherever we went, I would mention places. And so my mum started reading up about past life regression. I also used to talk about when I was when I was here before, my name was Elizabeth, and I used to tell her about my life before. So she knew that there was something there that was, about these past lives. Now, I was I spent a lot of time in the dream world, and even especially in school time, I was doing a lot of subconscious work. Later, I found out that I was I was very high frequency until the age of 8 years old. And this will explain the reason why I was off in a different realm of existence. But I couldn't hold these higher vibrations after the age of 8. So they switched me off because it was just too much for me to cope with. I was then put back on at the age of 23. Now, this was subconscious work. I still didn't know what I was doing. I was doing all the work subconsciously. And I'm pretty sure I was still doing work in dream time in between that time. It's just that there was a very high frequency that was running through me that I couldn't hold on to. Now, like I say, it came back on at 23. And it wasn't until 2019 that I actually then had my awakening. I had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening from being completely asleep. I know many practitioners and many of the collective, when they have their awakening, they might have been awakened for quite a few years, but mine was absolutely rapid and spontaneous. From one moment I was asleep to the next, the Kundalini rose up my back and my third eye opened, and I saw my third eye was completely opened, and I saw different realms of existence. I would, for the next 6 months, which was a rapid awakening, I would see alien spaceships coming through portals in my home. I would see Mary Magdalene come and sit next to me while I was sleeping and giving me messages. Now, from being completely asleep to this happening, I really thought that I was going mental. I thought that I didn't have anyone to speak to because I didn't have any friends that was going through the same thing. But slowly I found my soul family. And firstly, I found Nicola. So I found Nicola and we started doing a lot of work. We actually started doing a lot of work with King Arthur and Queen Guinevere, didn't we? And a few other of our friends. We did a lot of collective work with that. And then I found Rising Phoenix Aurora, and as soon as I connected with her energy, I knew this was it. I signed up to her course, her mentorship, the Isis Priestess, and from the moment I started working with those symbols, it was such a profound experience for me, and it was like even more of me was awakened. Remembering my past lives would just run through me, and I would just be shown snippets of many different past lives. During sleep time, I was using these symbols, and for the next 2 months I was basically catching up with a lot of work that they wanted me to do. I was very busy. And so, yes, this was absolutely incredible for me. Since then, I've been an aura practitioner now for over 2 years. I'm coming up to my 200th aura with clients, which is fabulous. And I just feel so truly blessed and so much gratitude. And I've also met my twin flame, Jeffrey, and he brings, everything into sacred union, because there's so much that's going on with the union, and I had to come in divine union with myself first before I really fully came into union with my twin flame. Now, what I wanted to talk to you about today is about the dragons. So I meditated yesterday, and I was like, okay, what would you like me to share? And very clearly I was told it's about the dragons. And I said, okay, let's share about the dragons. What do we know already about the dragons? Well, we know that they, with the collective work, they are working, especially near the water dragons, working within the sacred waters, the sacred womb waters of the Divine Mother, and they are doing so much to aid ascension. And actually, those of you may have already have listened to my video, which is the 144,000 pyramids. Now, within that, I shared with the winter solstice work that we did, and there was Luna, Muna, and Nicola, and Cora, and well, all of us, we were all really part of that winter solstice energy. We all would have been connecting in with that, and it was all about the dragons. And Nicola had a beautiful meditation on that winter solstice about the dragons, the pastel colored dragons in Lemuria that was rising, and which I share in the video. But I also had a client a few days later, and she actually connected in with the crystalline grid and the dragon portals. Now, there was an activation that happened where it was a sacred place that we can't really share today, but it was a sacred place that connected in with different star systems and with the Lemurian energy. And this was an activation that opened up further portals for the dragons to come through. This is linking in with everybody's individual dragons, and it was basically along the crystalline grid, enabling everybody to connect in deeper with their dragon. Because as Aurora shares with us, when ascension comes forth, as it's coming forth now, we ride out on our dragons, and we're always, ride your dragons, connect with your dragons. And when I was told about sharing this information about the collective of dragons, I connected with my own dragon. Her name is Gwendolyn, and she is a water dragon. And she said, I would love for you to share that we don't necessarily require you to connect with us, because everybody subconsciously connects with their dragons. However, if you consciously connect with your dragon, you can amplify our work and your work. So, for instance, she works with the whales, and I didn't learn this until I connected with her yesterday. I knew that she was a water dragon, but I didn't know her really important role that she had. And she said, well, Claire, I'm based in really deep in the ocean and like inner earth energies. And she said, I work with the sonic waves within the whales. She said, I guide, I cleanse, because my energy is predominantly I'm purple and green, but purple ray, and Gwendolyn is my exact DNA dragon. I've got other dragons as well, but she's my exact DNA dragon, and she's a purple dragon. She's a transmuter. Purple is that beautiful transmuting energy. And she said, we transmute. She said, so I transmute all of those, the AI, the toxins, the poisons that go throughout the oceans. And she said, that is my role, so that those sonic waves can travel out to the collective and to the ocean life. And she said, now you connecting with me now consciously, you can amplify my role, because you can call in further aid for us. And I was like, well, of course. So of course we did some collective clearing together, and we called in source, and what I was shown was whales, almost, if you imagine this like a netting that was over them. Now it's an energetic sort of blanket that was placed, and I know a lot of people do work with the whales, and it's not that they couldn't swim around, it's more like a layer of sort of tarry energy. And so she said, if you help me to remove this, because you're consciously doing it, you are here, it will amplify what I do. So we did it, and we worked together in clearing this for the beautiful whales, for the sonic waves that then connect out with the ocean. And so this is what I wanted to share with you, of how you work with your dragons subconsciously, but why not work with them consciously and amplify their work, which will also amplify your work. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to share. And also just to say about the dragons, that our pets are our little dragons. I have a dragon cat, Rhea, and she, wow, when me and Jeffrey first did her Reiki session, we never knew what we let ourselves in for. We went on an incredible journey of collective work for the dragons, and we were like, wow, we only wanted to see if she had any AI in her. We never expected to go on this wonderful journey of the dragon world. And then also doing Reiki for other animals. So Luna Muna, she has a beautiful dog, Tyson, and Jeffrey and I did a Reiki for him, and he actually linked in with a dragon world in the Northern Hemisphere, which then we did a beautiful clearing there through Tyson. And then the following day, we were guided to do another Reiki for Rhea. And when we did this energy for her, Jeffrey actually rode in on his beautiful green dragon, and he saw Tyson and Rhea in their dragon forms, and we had to do further work linked in with the Northern Hemisphere with that. So I really wanted to share with you how our pets, our little dragons, are so very important. By connecting in with them, they are also they can actually do so much clearing work. I know Cora as well does a lot of work with her animals that she has. She goes on some fabulous journeys. So yes, I think that's what I wanted to share with you today about the collective clearing. So yes, thank you. Right, who would like to go next? Shall I pick somebody? Yes, okay. Cora, would you like to go next then, since I just mentioned about the dragons?
Okay. Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm not really sure what I want to talk about. I sort of had a bit of a list of things. I think I'll maybe start off with just mentioning that obviously I don't feel like I've really been asleep. A lot of people say I had an awakening. I feel like I've always been very conscious of the fact that this world is very distorted and nothing really added up. So I've always felt very much like just been curious as to what are we even doing here? What's going on? This place is just absolutely alien and weird. And I've always been a bit of a hippie and a bit of an outsider, and I've always kind of looked at things a bit differently from most people, and I never wanted to make loads of money. I just didn't really see the point. It was like the whole treadmill of life never made sense to me. But it wasn't until I had my session with Claire, my aura session with Claire, and started getting going on this journey of self-healing, when we sort of removed all the final archonic sort of infringement within me, which is all energetic, but it was like the crown was blocked. And once that was removed, then I just connected in clairaudiently. I could hear my higher self speaking to me. And obviously then I started connecting with Archangel Michael. And now I just speak to him every day. So the modality that Aurora's sort of designed just enables us to, it's kind of self-empowering, because it enables us to connect in with our higher selves and to get rid of all of these infringements, which then gives us all of these powers and all of these abilities. Like, we've all got these abilities, but I never thought that I would ever in 100 million years be clairaudient and be able to hear messages from archangels. So like, if someone had said that to me 5 years ago, I would have thought, oh, you're absolutely crazy. Only special people can do that. That's not something that I'll be able to do. That's something that everybody can. So that's kind of like a main message that I want to say, that everyone can use all these different senses. Like, it might be that you can hear clairaudiently, or like you get really good images, or however it is for you, it will be possible for you to connect in with your higher self as well. So I would encourage everybody to have an aura session, because it's just such a pure modality. Aurora like checks all of the people that come through her. She'll check that energy. So she won't allow anyone to be a practitioner until she's checked that energy and she knows that they're positive polarized. So there's no negatively polarized practitioners. You're not going to get a practitioner that's going to infringe upon you because of the sacred alchemy symbols that are used. So you're always safe within this modality, which is like, I'm not picking holes with other modalities, but I know that there are a lot of modalities which are infringed. And if you have a session with certain modalities, you might find that you're not actually healing like you wish that you were. So what you're looking for, you might not achieve. So I would just say that you're very, very safe with this. And what else would I like to say? I don't know whether to speak about sort of energy work that we've been doing or collectively, or just
Sure,
like
whatever you think, or whatever comes through. Did you want to have to think and then come back to you, or?
Yeah, well, maybe just share about like the message that I got this morning. So like, we've been doing a lot of collective work. So I've been linking in with like other practitioners, and this morning I was just told that we're building the Golden Gateway. So it's like everything we're doing now with this energy work is we're building towards ascension. And I was just told that each and everyone is aiding with this. So, and like that's the other thing that I wanted to mention. So at the beginning of the year, so we did all these amazing like collective activations. We all aided with doing these activations, like Claire was, and there were lots of other people. And after that happened, like coming into the new year, I was thinking, oh, everything's going to be brilliant and amazing. And I was so optimistic. And then we hit January and like, oh my goodness, was I struggling? It was like, I was like, what is going on? My own life was just like, it felt like it was falling apart. I couldn't cope with my children. And the energy was so heavy and it was awful. And I was just like, Claire, you've got to give me a session. I just feel like I feel like I'm at my wit's end. I feel like I'm dying or something. And then when I had the session, I realized that like we did some more collective energy work, and I realized that it wasn't really me. It was like what I was feeling was like the effect of doing this energy work together as sort of practitioners. We're aware of what we're doing. Everyone's going to be doing this. It then means that loads of stuff comes up for the whole collective. So all of this dark stuff is sort of like almost dredged up and needs to be like felt and experienced before it can then be released. So it's like whenever you're feeling those real horrible struggly moments, it's quite often it might not even be you. It might just be the whole collective is actually transmuting. We're all sort of, it's all of this darkness is coming up and we're feeling it, and we have to feel it for then to be released, so that then we can rise that little bit higher. So that's sort of quite important, I think, because sometimes like you think as practitioners that like we're always going to be feeling great and amazing, and as we sort of do this ascension work, everything's getting so much better, but sometimes it's not that way. It's like we will still have all of these struggles because it's all part of sort of then spurring us on to the next bit of work that we're doing. And yeah, and we're all constantly healing, and like ascending is like hard work, isn't it? It's not easy. All of this 3D stuff is like really tricky. I love going into like meditation and getting all these messages and going on these quantum journeys, because it's all sort of like the energy is much lighter and it's all like so magical. But when I get sort of dredged down into sort of just like children bickering and trying to resolve arguments and just like doing the dirty washing and waking up early and having bad hair, it's like all of that stuff, I don't like that. So I'm quite looking forward to ascending out of it, really. So it can be all like a little bit more rainbows and sunshine. And yeah, so there's probably lots more to talk about, but I'll pass on to Minnie, and maybe would you like to go next? You're next to me on my little computer screen.
Oh wow, because actually I do have to share something similar to what you just mentioned. So we got similar downloads. Okay, well, beautiful. I do have a video on my channel on YouTube about my story, so you can know a little bit more about my background and how I woke up. But what is relevant for now that I can share is that we all have spiritual gifts that we carry with us. Every single soul that is coming here to Earth. When we wake up, some of us remember our gifts and some of us have our gifts closed. And when I woke up, and as a child, most of my gifts were closed. The only, I think one of the main gifts that was really open was that of being a transmuter. Out of all the things, with no energy shields around me, that's what I was doing as a child. And I didn't know that I was doing it. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because there would be many of you out there feeling really sick, going out in environments and wondering why you're sick all the time. It's because of this. It's because you carry these transmuting energies, and you go in with your soul's essence and you start automatically, unconsciously start clearing spaces that you go into. So pretty much throughout my childhood, and teenage years, school time, as well as university, or if I was traveling anywhere, visiting anyone, I would be doing a lot of purging at night, because during the day I was, cleansing environments around me, black magic and people, entities, and all of that. I didn't know this up till now, when the angels have now started giving me dreams of, what was happening when I was a child. Why was I so sick all the time? And being a butt of the joke. She's always falling sick. That's what it was. It was difficult and hard to be in school. Even smells trigger you, because your sense of smell, taste, they're just so activated. So, you smell things and you react to those as well. So constantly falling sick, getting headaches and migraines. And then came to the time when I woke up in 2017, end of the year. I thought I was mighty late for it, but later on I was shown this is exactly how it was meant to be. And that's when I came across beautiful Aurora, and I took her beautiful courses. She had just started teaching them in the year 2018, and it was beautiful. Our hearts met, and I knew this is what I needed to do. As soon as I got the teachings, and specifically the teachings of shielding, I knew what was missing in my life, and that was the key. And I started wearing my shields and continued, doing the work that I was doing, but not feeling sick anymore of it. So no more getting tired, no exhaustion, not taking on anyone's energies, just feeling them like an empath, but, having the boundaries of not absorbing them, just healing them from afar. So that's what it was like. My first experience with collective healing was, I think, in the year 2018. I was still in my job. I was working a job Monday to Friday, and on the weekends I would call in friends whoever wanted healings, and just offer them a session, and you have lunch, dinner, have a good time. But I was working, and I had actually volunteered through my organization for a children's event which was happening at the Rogers Arena that we have for the games here. And there were some amazing, beautiful singers that were coming in, and all these children from the schools across Vancouver were here. And so my job was basically just be at the entrance, I think, just as an usher, guide the kids, tell them where to go, and that's it. So I did this 1 year. In the second year, when I was fully activated, I was about to go back. I was like, I'm done. The kids are all in, they're watching the show. And the angel said, oh, you're not done yet. We want you to go inside. I was like, what do you mean inside? They were like, we want you to go into the arena where, the show is happening. So I had time. I was like, okay, I'll just go. And they were just telling me step by step. They didn't say anything about healing. And I stood there and I was like, okay, what's going on? And I started feeling all these energies coming into me. And I had Metatron, I came to Metatron, who I work with a lot. And he said, we need to heal the children. We're here to heal the children today. So we're bringing in energies and you're going to be anchoring them. I said, okay, so what do I need to do? And he said, nothing, just be you. I was like, okay. So there it was. And suddenly it was like this huge gateway that just opened, and I felt this flush of energy just come through me. And of course, the angels were there. And I'm pretty sure that the teachers, the angelic forms were around them. They were all anchoring this energy. It wasn't just me. And the energy started going in, and I felt my solar plexus churn clockwise, literally spinning, to the extent that I actually had to ask them, okay, I feel my head is spinning now. And they said, okay, there's a chair here. How, you just sit down. And I settled down, and I could feel Metatron on my back. He had his hands on my shoulder. He was grounding the energies with me. But yes, that was the time when I really, for the first time, consciously felt the feeling of going in and actually doing something for, others. And it felt really beautiful, and I was crying. And when we were done with it and I was walking out, I asked the volunteers who had the checklist, I said, how many children are here? And she said 14,500 plus. I was like, whoa, okay, I can't even think the magnitude of the healing that happened. And then we are right next to the ocean, so they rippled it out into the ocean and everywhere else. So that was my first experience. And fortunately, obviously, I had my shields, and I didn't feel exhausted at all after that. It felt really good. So that is why it is so important now for everyone to be wearing their shields, their energetic protections, and whatever work you do to ensure that you call on the divine, because we have a huge, huge team of the divine helping us at all times. Now, what they wanted me to talk about today was, I have several examples of collective healings that we've done, but a little bit about, the step-to-step of, if it can help someone today, aid you all in understanding how to organize your collective healing, to understand it better. This is how they explained it to me, and this is how I've been working as well. So Earth basically is going through a massive, powerful, transformational cyclical change right now. And as we go through these changes, just like Cora mentioned, there are many gateways that are waiting to be unlocked. And the keys to those locks are lying dormant within the healing needs of the collective. And that is where we all play a role. And while we are here as healers, there are so many others that are unaware of their role and they're still doing it. So our role basically is to find the keys, find the root cause, because every time there is a gateway that has to be opened, the healing needs come up to the surface and for purging. And they are so deep and chaotic sometimes that there is this urgency to quickly heal them. And that is exactly what we're feeling as a collective right now. The collective of Earth is going through, as we say in spiritual terms, the dark night of the soul. And the dark night of the soul within itself has various stages. The first stage, if you have to actually talk about them in stages, the first stage is the stage when you realize that you've hit rock bottom. And that's it. You are in the worst phase of your life. You feel hopeless. You feel like the victim, and you don't know what to do. But the best part about this is that the only place to go from here is up. The second part of the stage, as I see it, is when you start feeling all the emotions of being in that stage, when you're crying, you're feeling like a victim, you feel hopeless, you get angry. Sometimes you get angry at your spirit guides for not helping you enough. And then the third stage comes when you start wiping the tears and saying, how long am I going to cry? I need to get myself out of here. What do I need to do to be out of here? And you start analyzing and you start introspecting. So the collective is doing all these stages right now, and we are actually a part of the collective. So we're doing it with them. The fourth stage is when you realize what the root causes of those issues are and you start healing those root causes. And as you heal those root causes, the fifth stage is when you go into a birthing phase and you birth yourself out, refreshed, renewed, completely rebirth like the phoenix. And while this is one of the times of the dark night of the soul, we're going to go through several layers of these healings, to reach ascension stage. And there are going to be aha moments and happy moments in between as well. But at the moment, how I see Earth is that we're in between stage 3 and 4, where we realize we need to do the groundwork. We realize we need to do the shadow work. And we found those places that need healing. We found those keys. We just need to start working on it, and we're doing it. So we are feeling the feelings. We're in the third one. We realize we need to do it. And in the fourth one, where we're healing it. So it's a back and forth between 3 and 4. And eventually that gateway is going to open and we're going to release ourselves there. So basically the collective energies are very chaotic right now, as we can see it. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of victimhood. People have lost hope. People don't know what's going on with their life. Where is God? What is going on? And while there is a massive amount of people that are still unawake to this and are still reeling and going through these energies, there is a massive amount, a huge percentage that is awake. And that's where our role comes in to aid the collective, because even if a majority of us can take the load on us, we can be the bridge for the rest of them. And so that's where our role comes in. And that's how we navigate it. We become the bridge. And as we become the bridge, knowing very well that a bridge is not just situated in one place, there is a starting point and then there's an end point. So your one foot is still in stage 3 and 4 in the mess. You're feeling the chaos. And as an empath, you're feeling all those energies that are coming in. But your other foot necessarily needs to be in where we need to go, where the collective is headed. What is the fruition of these timelines? And as seers and oracles, as as our guides are guiding us as well, we need to be able to see that situation, that fruition of these timelines. We need to be able to visualize it and manifest it for the collective, and at the same time hold space. So it can get pretty crazy while you're feeling all the emotions of everything that's going on. You're crying, you're wailing. There are times when I'm a mess, and unfortunately my kids see it too, but they realize why that is happening. And they'll come and give me a hug and they'll join me in the meditation and the healing. And it's okay that they see it, because it reminds them of their role. And then we're like, okay, done crying. Everyone's crying. We can't all just be crying. Let's start with the healing. There we go. We start meditating. You go in and you start connecting with Mother Earth, because who other than Mother Earth can tell you what she needs and what her children need? And she will be your guide, and she will tell you exactly where you need to go, what grid lines, what dragons need releasing, where are the children's souls trapped, everything. She will guide you. But for that, we really need to center ourselves and bring ourselves into balance and use the energies of the elements, be it water or fire or air. I also like to use the energy of electricity and thunder, lightning, using all those energies and start to transmute it for the collective. Also, one of you actually shared about, is it my feeling or is the feeling of the collective? So first of all, understanding, are these really your own healing needs, or are these the healing needs of the collective? And then going in within to see how you want to go about healing them. And then really helping people, navigate through it. And that's what we're doing, remembering always that we are the bridge. And yes, we need to be feeling what the chaos is, and we need to be feeling what the confusion is, and the feeling of despair and hopelessness, but we can't let ourselves sink. We can't drown there. We need to be able to hold the hands and help the others. So keeping one eye here and the other eye on, as a seer and oracle, on what the future timelines are. It is those beautiful golden gateways that are waiting to open, and we're ascending as a collective to the next step. And then there'll be several such steps that we'll be taking as a collective until ascension comes. And that's what we do. So the other thing I wanted to quickly talk about is, in the last 2-3 months, as most of us, even before getting onto this call, we were having a beautiful discussion about what we all are experiencing in our individual sessions, as well as for ourselves, and in meditations, downloads, and dream time. There's so much coming up for healings for the dragons, who are basically the other us. And they're not apart from us. They're not just our friends, they are us. So they are waiting, some of them, to be unlocked, and a huge millions of them have already been helped and aided into releasing themselves from whatever was holding them down. And they are now working their parts. They're activating the dragon lines. And then secondly, it's women and children and the traumas of, religion, a lot of crusaders, and what happened during the crusades, and how the Fae and the Fae communities and the light workers, the women and children that were massacred, and the healings of those. And as we heal them, the dragon lines have lit up, and the dragons have been released, and black magic has been removed, as well as number 3, the main thing I wanted to talk about is twin flames. The most recent session that I had, and you can watch it in detail on my YouTube channel, but all of you have similar sessions as well, is the healing of the divine feminine and the divine masculine and their wounds, so that they can now let go of their wounds, and they can now start trusting each other and coming into union with each other. Firstly, like Claire mentioned, you need to do the inner work and bring in your twin flame into you, so that you can feel that balance from inside of you. You can feel your twin flame inside of you. That is going to make you so whole and complete and powerful, in a good way, not in a way where you put yourself on a pedestal over others, but the power of source love becomes magnified exponentially when you are together with your twin, whether it is in the physical or it is internally within yourself. And that is huge, because that brings about a huge change in the shift of the collective, which is what we're experiencing now, with the divine father and divine mother energies merging together in divine union of holy matrimony and coming together, and then it gets rippled out to all the beautiful children as well. So yes, I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much for listening in. And if there's time, we'll talk more. Otherwise, thank you for listening in. I love you all, sisters. Thank you for being here. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Thank you. Love you.
Oh, Minnie, that was such an amazing explanation. That was just absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be listening back to that. Absolutely stunning. Thank you for explaining that. It really does really hit my heart there when you were talking. Thank you, sister. Who would like to go next then? Paulina, did you want to go next? Or Samia? Yeah?
You felt me. Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm linking a lot with what Cora said and what Minnie said. So a little bit, maybe I will start about my awakening. My awakening was quite a while ago. I would say from 2011. And I was lucky enough to start my awakening with my twin flame, with my beautiful husband that I'm with for such a long time now, and we work together as well. And also when I was little, I never felt like I fit in. I felt the energies around me, and I felt like I was always absorbing a lot of negative energies from other people, and I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. Until I had my explanation when I had my session with Claire, when I spoke with Archangel Metatron, and he explained to me why was that. It's because I had to learn. So in me, from my experience, it was when I absorbed negative energies, you could see in my eyes. My eyes were getting really, really dark, but at that time I didn't know how to transmute it. So now with the teaching of Aurora and the shielding and everything that we're doing, that all of us doing, that's helped me a lot, you know, to understand how to shield myself, how to transmute these energies. And yeah, and I've learned how to navigate that. And yeah, it's been a quite a journey for me. But yes, Archangel Metatron basically said to me that if I wouldn't be going through all these missions, all these teachings, and all this, you know, like lessons, I wouldn't understand what I need to do. So sometimes we go through like a really, really hard, tough journey, and we have really tough you know, lessons in life. But this takes us where we need to go and who we need to be. Because otherwise we wouldn't understand, if that makes sense. But yes, and I have been learning different modalities, different energy, you know, energy-based modalities, but none of them really explain and show how to do shields, which are crucial in this work, really, because when I haven't been shielding and I didn't know how to do it, yes, my energy was up and down all the time. My energy sometimes is still up and down, but it's not because I'm not shielding. It's because I'm feeling the collective energies. So you know, you become more in tune with yourself and you feel your own emotions, but sometimes you do pick up the emotions from the collective, but then you kind of know what to do with it more. And I think at the moment, I've been picking up a lot from the collective, and as well where we are going from here. So obviously, you know, with all the work that all those beautiful practitioners are doing, either if it's our practitioners or, you know, other practitioners that are really staying in the love light, we're all doing a huge work. And the shift that was happening from, I would say, the portal of 2212 last year, it takes us really into where we are now. And actually today, I've been feeling a lot of downloads and I've been feeling a lot of shifts and a lot of things was coming up. And I feel like, you know, we've been all kind of getting the sense of us above, so below. And this has been coming up a lot. Is because we're not only getting the energies from, you know, from the universe, from the source and from the stars, that we're getting the upgrades, but it's also the Mother Earth and the crystalline core of the earth is waking up. So it's like, if you imagine, and that's from my session with Claire as well, if you would imagine this massive crystal in the, you know, in the core of the earth, it's literally vibrating with energies. It's like you imagine this sonar wave that's coming up and it's ripples through the earth and through the crystalline grids and all the beautiful connections that we have. It ripples everywhere, and it's you know, it's an organic way. And I was also getting that, you know, there might be some things happening on earth, like maybe, you know, earthquakes and things like that. So some of them, it might happen in an organic way because certain energies needs to shift. So we might experience that as well. But also we are upgrading and our crystalline bodies are upgrading. So, you know, to whoever is not maybe in that, you know, energy healing work, is not really there yet and doesn't really understand it, you know, if you know, we can all do 5-10 minutes meditation, right, in the morning, or set an intention. If you just, you know, sit with yourself for a moment and you start to connect to yourself, just invite those energies, you know, just allow them to come, to shift you, to shift whatever it's no longer serving you, to let go, because we are dealing with a lot of things at the moment. I mean, I've been dealing a lot of things from last year in my personal life, and I know that you know, I needed that's energy healing. I needed it. It helped me, because otherwise I would just sit in this lower vibration, and you don't see kind of a way out. So and I was saying that on my Instagram the other day when I had my session with Claire and Jeffrey, that, you know, just because you are energy healing practitioner doesn't mean that you don't need to do the work. You do need to do the work, because that's how we, you know, that's how we kind of upgrade, and that's how we level up. So we all have to do it. And, you know, each of us, we're going to do this work, then we're going to help the collective, and then it ripples, and then another person wakes up, you know, and you don't know, whatever you're going to say, you know, it's going to wake up the other person. So it's, you know, it's amazing. I have a lot of story to say, but yeah, I think, yeah, it's been quite a journey for me, and I'm grateful for it, and I wouldn't go back, you know. So helping others for me is great. And sometimes when you have those little moments when, you know, nothing's happening, sometimes nothing's happening, you know, it's time for you to shift something. It means, you know, have to do, you know, your inner work. And when you're in the right vibration, then again things are moving for you. So yeah, I will invite everybody, you know, to have an aura session, or at least explore, you know, see what's there, see what's possible. If you, you know, if you don't see kind of way out, or where you are at the moment, just give it a go, because you know, you can't go wrong with this. You can always you know, move forwards, and be in a higher vibration and be happy. So yeah, that's from me today.
Beautiful, Paulina. And that session was so beautiful. I did say I really feel as though that would make a beautiful meditation. I do hope that you do transform that. Yeah, do transform that into a meditation, because it was incredible in the sacred birthing waters of Gaia, and linking in with the beautiful crystal energy, and how you were creating. It was really stunning, and it will also invite the collective into the sacred birthing waters. It'd be a fabulous meditation. Please get it out for us.
Yeah, we'll do. Now the kids are back at school, so I'll definitely be on it. And that actually links to what Minnie was saying as well about you know, about the 3D and 4D and above. That's what came up in the session as well. That, you know, when we in the 3D, we have the choice point, right? We have different doors that we might open or close, but it's always a choice, right? We're making a choice. So in the 3D reality, we have a lot of choices to make, and it's up to us to do it. And then when we, you know, when we close the certain doors that I would say no longer serve us, or we complete certain missions or certain lessons, then we can let it go, then we can move on. So then we kind of move on to the 4D, and then, you know, hopefully 5D and beyond. So we can only go higher.
Yes, the only way is up. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, who would like to go next then? Who would like to go next? Samia, did you want to go next?
Yeah. I will go next. So what do I want to share today? My awakening story, I think it all started back in 2016 when I moved into France. When I moved in where I am right now, I'm based in France. And, you know, I don't think that I was ever unawake or completely closed off, because of the experiences that I had when I was a child. Was I kind of knew that something was going on, that the world was not as it seemed, or as you may see it with your physical eyes. And back in my country, we could see many different entities, and all those experiences that weren't always funny or, beautiful to have as a child. So I think I always had those gifts, but the different experiences that I had having those gifts opened, but not being able to protect myself, properly with the shielding that we are doing now and that we have learned with modalities with Rising Phoenix Aurora. So back at this time, I wasn't shielding, and I wasn't shielded, and I was having all kinds of negative experiences with those entities, and just darkness in general. And like Minnie said earlier, I was a child. I was always sick. I always had headaches, pain in my belly. I was always sick. So quite frankly, my mother wouldn't even let me go play with the other kids because I was always sick. But when you grow up, you kind of understand now why this is always why this was happening. Kind of, have a retrospect on what was going on in your life, and you can now understand and coming into an awareness of this is why I had to experience this, because now I can understand the importance of shielding. Back in those days, if you didn't experience this, then maybe now you wouldn't have the knowledge, or you wouldn't have the need to shield yourself. So yeah, so all experiences are really important for wherever you are right now, because the sum of all those experiences is what allow you to be who you are now and where you are in this time and space. So I'm just grateful for everything that I've lived through all the way up till now, and everything that I will continue to experience and live through. I'm just excited about it, and I'm not sure if it's going to be all fluffy and beautiful, but I've come to an understanding to whatever experiences come forth, I will just have to take it and roll with it, basically. Just take it and roll with it and do the best you can with it. So yeah. So for this roundtable, when I was checking in with my higher self and trying to figure out what I will bring as messages to the collective, I was guided to speak about what is a healer, what is a light worker. So we're all seeing on the internet, oh, the light workers are doing this, healers are doing that. And we're all like, the healers can do that. But me, I'm not a healer. I cannot do that. Those healers, they are specific beings, other beings from other planets. We don't know. They are healers. We are the people, they are the healers. But no, for me, with my experiences, I believe that every single one of us is a healer in nature, because that's what we do. A light worker is someone that works within the source love light within them, works with the source love light within yourself, and understand that you are of source, you are here as a pillar of love light, and taking in this energy to work for yourself, work on yourself for your highest good. What it does is that it sends a message. It sends a message into the collective memories, sparkling that awareness that this being is able to do this. Then if this being is able to do this, then this other being may be able to do this as well. We are all part of these collective energies of Mother Earth. So what one person is doing, another person is also feeling what they are doing. So taking this energy and working within yourself, it ripples out through the entire collective. So a light worker for me is someone that works within the love light of themselves and of source, and is able to go maybe to within the darkness of themselves and remove the inversion and integrate the organic darkness of themselves and become, the full expression of who they truly are beyond this veil of the 3D and the physical. And we are all this, we are all this energy that has come here to have an experience. So we are all light workers, we are all healers. And this is what we do. We, with our vessel, we anchor down energy, and we are able to anchor down codes and anchor down, healing and release negativity that needs to be released and needs to be cleared just by allowing ourselves to do this, just by choosing to do this, whether it is doing it consciously or maybe setting an intention before you go to sleep. Tonight, I would like to assist Mother Gaia. Tonight, I would like to assist the children. Tonight, I would like to assist myself as well, because we've been so programmed by society to put ourselves last. But yes, we are a part of the collective, but we are also individual souls that needs to have an experience. And as individual souls, our whole purpose is to grow and evolve. And we only grow and evolve by experiencing things and having those beautiful experiences and allowing ourselves to, understand that we are the sovereign being of our own life. Yeah. So it was very important for me to bring forth these messages so that everyone can understand that they are able to heal themselves, but also to heal the collective, because as you're working within yourself, you're also working within the collective and releasing those darkness from the collective ultimately. So yeah, that was the first thing that I would like to share with you all, and also about shielding, because we've all said that it is so important to shield, and I cannot say it better, but I'm going to say it still. I'm still going to say and repeat, because it is so important to shield. So when I was little, like I said a little bit earlier, I had these negative experiences because I didn't know how to shield at that time. And I remember that my mother would tell me, put yourself into a bubble of light. And I would put myself into a bubble of light and move on with my day. But at that time, I did not understand what it means. Put yourself in a bubble of light. So maybe sometimes I would do it. Most of the time, I would not do it. So I will find myself in this situation where I will feel so sick in my stomach. I would feel so nauseous because the environment was so heavy. And then I would remember what my mother told me, and I would put myself into a bubble, and then I would feel better, and I would feel better. Then I would go back home and move on with my day, completely forget about the shielding. Oh, I'm feeling okay now, so let's move on. It's all done. It was just a one and done, and I continue. But when I met Aurora and I started taking her course, that's when I realized that putting yourself inside a bubble of light is actually shielding yourself from negative energies. And those negative energies were the reason why I was feeling so sick. So then I started shielding myself every morning. The first thing that I do is shield myself, shield my energy, make sure that I'm maintaining my purity and my integrity. And before the sun comes down, I also shield myself for the night, because it's a shift. So you're working within the day, then you're shifting into the night, and you have to redo it for the night, ensuring that this beautiful cycle can continue on organically forever. So shielding is so much more important, and it is absolutely not fear-based. You are using your own source love light energy. It is your own energy that you are expanding outside of your body and rippling out around your auric field, creating this beautiful organic barrier of infinite source love light energy that protects you from infringements and make sure that whatever you're getting as information and messages, it is filtered through this beautiful barrier of your own source love light to make sure that you are only connecting to the benevolence of creation. So this is also very important for us to remind the collective to shield themselves. It is not fear-based, and it is of utmost importance. And another thing I was guided to share today during this roundtable, still about healing and healers, was something that I learned at the beginning stages of my awakening process was the shedding of identities. So we're all seeing, when you go on the internet and you're searching about how to awaken or what is awakening and things like that, and what is shadow work, you will see everyone saying that, oh, the death of the ego, I've killed my ego, I've done this to my ego. But actually, the ego, I think that it is a little bit misunderstood in this construct that we are living in, because the ego is the organic darkness within ourselves that allows us to anchor and be able to incarnate into this dimension. So it is this darkness within yourself that, can feel the anger when someone is abusing a child. It is this darkness within you that do not allow for injustice. It is that darkness, that organic, beautiful darkness within you that allows you to, step up for yourself and just say, no, I do not consent to this crap. So it is really important that we understand that you have to come into balance with the ego, because the ego is the organic darkness, and we are in the time and space where darkness have been infringed upon. So you have to work within your ego and clear your ego of the inorganic darkness so that it can come into a balance, and you can then balance your love light with your organic darkness to be able to embody these two fundamental energies within this collective and really activate yourself to the fullest that you can be. But the other thing is identity. So the identity is all of the programming that you've been receiving since you were born, and all the expectation of society, the expectation that you put upon yourselves. So identity, I see identity as a kind of a mask that you put on yourself. When you wake up in the morning, you put your good girl identity mask because I have to be a good girl so that my parents are happy. When you go to work, you put on your mask of good colleague because everybody needs to be happy around me. That's how they know me. They know me as the happy person. So I have to be happy no matter what happens in my life. I have to be the happy person. So you put on your happy mask. You come home to your family, then you have to put the good mom mask or the good dad mask, the one that is never angry and things like that. So these identities, they're actually refraining yourself from understanding and acknowledging who you truly are. So the first thing that I started to do, that my higher self guided me to do when I started awakening myself, was to shed those identities, because we sometimes we do not realize how much these, identities are, how much we are, attached to those identities. And this attachment to those identities is actually refraining us from doing things that we would have done if we were not attached to such identities. Like just a simple example of the good girl identity. You're in a negative relationship, a toxic relationship with someone. If you put you keep your good girl identity or something like that, you may never allow yourself to move on or to leave that relationship, even though you know that this is a toxic relationship for yourself. So you have to really come into an understanding of what are the programming that you are still holding on to, and are they really helping me for my highest good? Are they really, being good for me? Those programmings that I'm having, are they really the best for me? And start shedding and releasing those programming and those expectations upon yourself, so that you can, start getting an understanding of who you truly are at your core, and becoming more of that, and anchoring more of who you truly are into your own life. Understanding that you are not a victim, you are here because you chose to come here, and it was a sovereign choice that you made. And since you made that choice, why not, make the best out of it and do everything that you can to make the best life that you can create for yourself, right? Okay, so that's it for me. Thank you for tuning in. I love you, I honor you, and I respect you.
Oh, beautiful. We love Anna and respect you too, Samir, and beautiful messages. Thank you. It really reminded me of, I've always had sort of public facing roles throughout my life, and within the public facing roles, we always used to say, let's put our game face on, because no matter how, a bad day that we've had, because we were in those kind of roles of serving, we had to have our game face, because that was the role that we had to play. And yeah, it really did remind me of that. I also wanted to just brush upon the fact that you spoke about how, we've all spoken about how we have to go through certain things within our lives, because in order to do our roles that we are playing now, we have to hold that compassion and, the understanding of what the collective are going through. And I think that's when we understand as well, we go through that forgiveness within our shadow work of what we've been through within our lives and also past lives, because we've had to experience this to be who we are, and how we can aid the collective. We've had to go through that. So yeah, beautiful on that. And also I wanted to mention about, everybody's spoken about the shielding. Now, just to let you know, those once you receive an aura, all of the aura practitioners will then send you over aftercare. Within the aftercare, you will receive shielding that is from Rising Phoenix Aurora. Now, this is, you can do as much of the shielding, you can choose whatever you wish to do. There is love lights, bubbles within there. There are archangel shields. You do receive this automatically with an aura session, or there is also a course that you can do with Rising Phoenix Aurora. She does a shielding course if you wish to do that, if you hadn't got to the stage that you wanted to have an aura yet. But I just wanted to mention that, so that people are aware. They might be wondering, well, how do I shield? So that is what you can do. Okay, so who would like to go next? Moona, or Nicola? Moona.
Okay. So it was very activating, actually, to hear all of you, and hopefully I can tie in some of the experiences that you guys were all discussing. So starting off with when I awakened, or when I started to put two and two together, if you will. If I reflect back to even my childhood, to when I was 2, 3, and 4, I started to realize that, the theme of hitting rock bottom It started early on. And I love what Samia said, like, the feeling of victimhood, right? So initially you're like you're grasping at straws, you're like, why does this keep happening to me? What's going on? And then you realize you were never really meant to be stagnant or get too comfortable, right? And if you were to envision it like a river that's going through like all the rocks, and it's turning, and it's moving, it's gushing, and it's slow, it keeps moving. And all of these experiences that you can sometimes have are there for you to question it, to question your truth, and if you will, your self-worth, to remind you of that. And the woe is me, and if you've been feeling a lot of that victimhood, and if you've been finding that, oh my God, I'm like, why does this keep happening to me? Like, am I going crazy? I feel like a crazy woman. I feel bipolar. And especially as evening time hits, if you find that you feel that plunge of, like, I don't know, depression just sinking in, it's fine. It's normal. I would like to say, and I'd like to acknowledge and recognize that you're probably an especially powerful sovereign being. And the crazier your experiences, I would say there's definitely more to tap into. It's perfectly normal. And a lot of times in society, we're led, we grow up believing, as Samia said, you've got this mask of a good girl, right? And then you go to work, you've got this other personality. And then when you hang out with your friends, you've got this other personality. When you come back home, you've got to be a certain kind of person. You can only be yourself within a really short window of time, right? And it often felt like different lives that people are leading. And I found that in the busier cities, you had even more lives. So, I mean, it was normal to have 2 lives. And then when you hit UK, I met the people there. I was like, wow, everyone's got like 4 lives. And then when I'm back to Canada, I'm like, we're so tame. We only have 3 lives. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you're always having to put forward all these different faces. And it's not that you're being fake. It's all different sides of you. And as one of you was saying, Simia or Paulina, you said time and space. I heard diamond space, right? So it's a game. Like, it's okay. These experiences are there for you for a reason. And going back to my journey, I think the passing of somebody is very, very powerful. And passing of my father, I never accepted it that he actually died. It's, to me, he decided to move on somewhere else, and he decided to move ahead of the curve. And in his true fashion, he left early. He didn't care if you were joining him. He had a plan. But I felt like he was assisting us from the other side. And for me personally, I tried really hard. I tried really hard to leave Canada. Like, I'm done. I want to go to the UK. I just want to go. But no, I couldn't. And I think now I understand. I've always had to do this work over here. And I think just Dad moving on, I think he's really had us work on our on everything that's been holding us back, from dark spells to just programming that we just even, I want to say that you wrap yourself in, right? Like, I mean, be careful of the words that you use. You're doing it to yourself. And if you're feeling unsettled or constantly feeling like you're just not catching that break, I just want to remind yourself, like, I want to remind you, you might be trying to fit yourself into a reality that's not even, it's just fabricated, right? It's programming. And I think it's time that you honor yourself. And so as I found Aurora, just the practice of shielding helped tremendously. It suddenly all made sense why I would always hit that rock bottom feeling, or just that tiredness feeling, especially at dusk, right? Yeah, dusk. Or I just always wanted to sleep. So I link in strongly with the water energies. And I realize my role has been as a transmuter. I realize I always found the wounded feminine energies to work with. And I realized, I think the most important thing out of Aurora's teaching was, what's mine is mine. What's theirs is not mine. It's okay. It's theirs. And I don't necessarily have to run away from it. I can be around it without feeling like I am getting washed away by it as well. So if you were to visit Aurora's website, as Clara mentioned and all of the others here mentioned, it's Rising Aura Phoenix. I think I'm going to muck that up a little bit.
Rising Phoenix Aurora.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm a little bit on the spot here. But you'll find that we're all just resonating and clarifying her message. And what she offers is, it's so vast. And it might be, there's so many aspects to it. So as you see us over here, we're all reflecting different parts of that truth. So as I started to work with that, I started to unravel me. I started to unravel my family from all of our past, wounded past, and things that have been holding us down, and things we never realized. It was very eye-opening. And once I started to get past that, those energies, I worked a lot with Minnie. And I was almost afraid to continue on because I felt like I brought down the grid in one of our solstice healing. I lost power in like, really hot summer. I was like, oh no, I've upset them. Let's not do this again. And it was hot. We were dying of heat. My pets, we were just like, okay, I need to go through carefully. But I went back to her again this time in winter, and I was like, I'm prepared if there is another meltdown. But I really do believe in working with Minnie and working with Claire. It really shifted my perspective, and where I felt like, oh, I don't get it. Like, why am I getting constantly attacked? It's not that. I realized that you're connected, and we're connected to different parts of Gaia. We're connected to different times and spaces that are actually coming up for healing. And so in my work, as I've been doing the raw Reiki, and a lot of times when I do meditations with my pets around, I realize that all our different energy centers are often linked to could be linked to different times and spaces, our star systems, parts of the earth that are coming up for healing. So if you feel like you're going crazy, you're losing your mind, or you're feeling like you're manic depressive, it's fine. Like, I want you to ask yourself the question, like, the earth goes through this. We've got volcanoes erupting. We've got thunderbolt moments. We've got earthquakes. What do you think that is, right? So that's what you're going through. And more than likely, you're connected to a very sacred site, or the land that you're on, and it's coming up for healing. So if you're starting out and you're listening to all of us and you're thinking, whoa, these guys are different. I don't even know if I can get there, start small And as Claire mentioned, start with just even like learning how to shield, and it'll come to you. It'll be like you'll gather tidbits of information. It'll be like gleaning jewels along the way, and it might feel like you're walking through mud, but you'll walk to. You could be walking to the path of the rose. You need to walk through that mud to get there. Or you could just be, as they say, right, diamond in the rough. As Claire mentioned, when she started off, she was for this particular round table, the dragon energies were coming up, and as she said that, I want to bring in a message from a dragon. As soon as she mentioned that, I felt this dragon come in right now, and what I'm seeing is like the color of a like an amber earthy brown with a golden sort of yellow chested golden chested dragon. And what it's doing, it's going from the east coming into the west. It's got beautiful golden eyes, and the message that it has for us that, you know, with every death, with every ending of every cycle, there comes rebirth. And it would like for us, and we should remind ourselves of our self-worth, of our identities. So as you're going through these endings and these cycles, there comes discovery. And that's what Earth is going through right now. So this Earth dragon is there to help with the waters as well. But it's there to remind you that a lot of this year might feel like a lot of things are ending, but it's urging you to also discover yourself. And in that discovery, you will be able to birth a new truth. Truth, as our sister Nicola mentioned. There is also, this is a great year to manifest. To, as you uncover yourself and your self-worth, use your words wisely. There's a lot of water energy that's coming up, and as the waters are being cleared, you can also use that as sacred ceremony for yourself to do shadow work, to write it down on a piece of paper. Either you could burn it and run the ashes through the water in a bowl, if you wish, at home, or through a running stream, or write down your wish and let the waters carry it. I've done a lot of ancestral healing that way. So water is going to be huge in our ascension, in helping us clear and do some of our shadow work. And also, if you as you go through this work and you align yourself, you'll be able to use the words to create that reality. But don't doubt the work that you're doing. Every day adds up to that experience. If you'd like to connect with me to work on Gaia, or to work on yourself, or just to have a chat about just to understand where or what applies to you, what service will apply to you, feel free to connect with me on Rising on Aurora's practitioner site.
aurapractitioners.com. Yes.
Thank you. But I thank you for listening in from the bottom of my heart, and I hope you can all connect with Source Love Consciousness. Thank you.
Valuvia, thank you, and greetings to the Earth Amber Dragon there. Thank you for that beautiful message. And I'm just, as you were saying that, I was just looking at the beautiful golden top that you're wearing as well. It was very matching for the dragon message. Such beautiful messages there. And when you mentioned the word create as well, I think this is something that we just to understand that we aren't just clearing, we are creating. You know, this is collective clearing and creating, because we are creating much, as you know, within our sacred, you know, those sexual, beautiful energies. we are creating so much. It is beauty, not just in our sacred divine unions. On your own, you can create, once you've become that beautiful energy of sacred union within, your creational energies will rebirth so much. It's fantastic. So yes, very key word is create. And everybody's been mentioning the shielding, haven't they? So I think that's the key point as well for this round table, is the shielding, which we've mentioned. And also Gwendolyn my dragon was mentioning to me about shielding when we're doing collective work physically on the land. Jeffrey and I send the dragons ahead wherever we go. So it's always key, because we learned the hard way. We're doing a lot of work physically on the land, and when you go there, if you haven't done a certain amount of cleansing before you get there, it can become, as we know as empaths, very heavy. So we would experience obviously heaviness, headaches, tiredness. Now, so what we do now, we've learned, we send the dragons ahead. The dragons do a beautiful job before we get there. And, you know, just ask. They're benevolent. They can't just step in. Just ask for the benevolent dragons. If you go and stay somewhere in a hotel, you know, this is a key thing. We do Reiki on our homes. We know this is our sacred space. And if we are doing, you know, we're traveling, which Jeffrey and I do a lot of traveling. So we send the dragons ahead, and the team, the Legion of Light, Archangel Michael, to go and cleanse any portals, cleanse our hotel spaces where we're going to be sleeping. You can ask the dragons and the benevolent team to do so much work for you, so that when you do go, and if you do the physical work on the energy and the land clearing, there will still be work to come up, but it will be a lot less heavy, and it will be more about activating, collecting those light codes, placing light codes in the ground, and it's a lot easier once the dragons have cleansed. So I just wanted to mention that. I was just reminded. And yeah, so Nicola, we do a lot, don't we, of cleansing physically in different spaces. Yeah, and one of those, just to mention about the spine of Albion where Nicola lives. The spine of Albion, for those that don't know, is they are actually dragons. So it's 2 dragon energies on the spine of Albion. And we actually had a beautiful physical work that we needed to do within sacred caves in the UK. And this actually was aiding the dragons, the dragons that had been placed in black magic energies. It was like activating them. You know, when we go to certain places and do these activations, our energies came together, and it actually aided as a rebirth energy for these dragons. And we both meditated at the same time. We were guided to a certain spot. It was quite funny, wasn't it, Nicola?
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. We all, when we go off on our little jolly adventures, I always say, I don't know whether I'll get anything, and then we get so much information that comes through, it blows our minds every time.
Yes, and we had that beautiful meditation, and when we both finished at the exact same time our meditations, and when Nicola was telling me hers and I was sharing mine, you can't make it up, because they were exactly the same. We had no idea what we were going to be doing, but as soon as we connected together, we were like, the dragons they've just rebirthed. The dragons have rebirthed, and we knew they both had done this, and it was so incredible. But yeah, what would you like to share, Nicola?
Wow, there's just been so many amazing stories about everyone's awakenings, and so much amazing, beautiful advice. I think the main thing that the main message, I suppose, that I was going to bring to this roundtable for everyone listening would be just a really simple message of just be kind to yourself. I mean, it's really hard being in this 3D realm. It's very dense environment, and it's only the strongest of the strong come here at this time. So if people are thinking they're not very strong, it's they are really strong to be here at this time. I mean, when I was younger, I always thought I was a bit weird. I didn't quite fit in. I mean, when I was 14, 15 years old, I was still going off on little adventures on my own, trying to find unicorns. I'm very connected to the unicorns, which I found out a lot later on in my lifetime as to why I'm so connected to unicorns. But yeah, just be kind to yourself. You do have days where you just don't want to get out of bed. And that's fine. It's people ascend at different times. It's all a journey. It's an individual journey. So I'd just say try not to worry about where you are, and if you know people that say you think they're ahead of you, nobody's ahead of anyone. Everybody's on their own ascension journey. So when I first woke up back in 2020, it just made so much more sense to me, and I was just like, why did it take me this long? I understand now, I realize. And my guides and higher self call me dear one, and they said, because you're so impatient, dear one, we had to wait until this point to wake you up because you're so impatient. I was like, oh, okay, thanks.
I think that's the same for me as well. I think exactly the same. I would have been itching.
Yeah, it's so funny, but yeah, it's just be kind to yourself. Everybody's going through this together. So if you can get a band of people around you that are going through the same things, it helps to make so much more sense, because even just sharing experiences, like we'll message each other and we'll go, are you feeling really tired today, or have you got a cracking headache? And everyone else, oh yeah, and it's like, oh, it'll be the collective energies. But it just makes so much more sense when you speak to other people and it's all the same things going on. You just know it's that collective energy. But yeah, it's a beautiful time to be here. I know people say it's all going crazy and everything, but I'm in my own little realm. I don't watch the news or anything, so I don't know what's going on half the time. I think the main thing is just being in the now moment. Try not to look too far ahead. Just keep in the now, and grounding, centering yourself, being out in nature. It's all things to help. Definitely. So yes, those are my words of wisdom. Be kind to yourself.
Beautiful. Thank you, dear one. I love it how they call you dear one. It's so yes, so funny. Beautiful messages. Thank you, Nicola. And I just wanted to finally touch up on, before we started this roundtable, we were all chatting about the wolf energy, and I think it's something that we ought to mention, because every single one of us over the last couple of months, and if not some beforehand, have been connecting in with the wolf energy. My recent YouTube video, we mentioned about the Alpha Centaurian race, and this is obviously a collective clearing that we have all been doing. So maybe you also, whether it's subconsciously, consciously, have been connecting with this wolf energy. And did anyone else want to mention anything about this? Beautiful. We all seem to connect in with the white wolf with the blue eyes and the beautiful blue energy. I don't know if anyone else wants to share anything about the wolf energy. No.
Maybe I'm going to share a little bit about that, just to say that there has been a huge collective release of an entrapment or an infringement upon the throat chakra related to the wolf, and many experimentations that have been done on them. And this is something that will ripple out, and that is rippling out through the collective around speaking up and using your throat chakra, and really, have to say it, I'm losing my words. Really anchoring your rights to speak and your freedom, because the throat really represents our freedom to be and express ourselves as we are, as we truly are. So many of us have been infringed upon around the throat chakra, and this has been, some of it has been cleared. I don't know if there is going to be more clearing about the throat for generally the people of the collective, but also those of us who are connected to the wolf energy and in the wolf DNA. So this clearing is coming up if you are feeling more an urge to speak up, to speak your truth. Go ahead and do it without being afraid, because your throat has now been released, and you can anchor that energy and that healing into your love light without being afraid of anything. It's all going to be all right. So that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Samia. Yes, and the beautiful wolf energy. So yes, we thought we'd just share that as well with this collective update of what's been happening. Also the beautiful sacred the balancing. So it's been a huge energy of balancing. Balancing continues daily. We are all working on balancing ourselves, and Gaia also within the balancing energies that she is working on. So yes, thank you for joining us. Thank you. I hope that you have enjoyed this collective update and a few tips that we have given. There is another roundtable that I'm going to be hosting on the 3-3 portal. So this will be there's another 7 beautiful, as brothers and sisters this time. So we will be sharing a few more insights for you. Okay, so until next time, thank you, Valuvia.